Imagine waking up at dawn to the crunch of boots on gravel. Your peaceful lakeside camp shattered by flashing lights and a shrill voice screeching about community standards. There I was, Alex Thompson, in nothing but my old flannel pajamas, clutching a faded property deed like a shield, as two county deputies trudged toward my family's ancient tent. And leading the charge? None other than Evelyn Hargrove, the self-appointed queen of Willow Creek Estates, her perfectly coiffed hair unmoving in the breeze, tapping furiously on her tablet as if she could summon fines from the ether. You see, Willow Creek was one of those picture-perfect American suburbs in upstate New York, where the houses gleamed like they were straight out of a catalog, lawns mowed to military precision, and every mailbox matched in glossy white. But beneath the facade of tranquility lurked a suffocating web of rules. HOA bylaws thicker than a phone book, dictating everything from the shade of your curtains to the height of your hedges. It's for the greater good, they'd say with saccharine smiles at the monthly meetings. But really, it was a playground for control freaks like Evelyn. She'd risen to HOA president 2 years back, a 55-year-old real estate agent with a penchant for power suits and passive-aggressive newsletters. Outwardly, she was all community spirit and upholding values, quoting Robert's rules of order like scripture. But whisper too loud about her, and you'd find yourself slapped with a violation for unsightly yard decor, even if it was just a bird feeder. Me? I'd inherited the 52-acre plot from my grandmother, Eleanor, a tough-as-nails war widow who'd snapped it up in 1948 with her late husband's life insurance. It was our family's sanctuary. Rolling hills dipping into a glassy pond, ancient oaks marking the boundaries, and a weathered fire ring where Gran had spun yarns about surviving the Depression. After my messy layoff from the tech firm, rumors flying that I'd been difficult, thanks to a vindictive boss, I'd retreated here for solace, camping under the stars, fishing at dawn, the crisp scent of pine mingling with wood smoke. It was therapy, pure and simple. The property butted up against Willow Creek, and for years we'd coexisted fine. A nod here, a wave there, until Evelyn decided my tent was an eyesore threatening their pristine aesthetic. That fateful Saturday, the deputies looked sheepish, one scratching his head under his hat. "Sir, we've got a complaint about unauthorized camping in a residential zone." The younger one muttered, eyes darting to Evelyn, who stood arms crossed, lips pursed in triumphant disapproval. "This is private property, my property," I said calmly, unfolding the deed. But Evelyn cut in, her voice dripping with faux concern. "Officers, this man is clearly in violation of county ordinances. We can't have transients setting up shop next to families. Think of the children." The deputies exchanged glances. "Civil matter," they said. But protocol demanded I pack up. As I dismantled the tent, Evelyn hovered, narrating like a bad reality show host. "See? That's what happens when people ignore the rules. Willow Creek is about order, not chaos." Neighbors peeked from their patios, sipping lattes, murmuring approvals. Humiliation stung like nettles, but I bit my tongue. Inside, though, I was cataloging every word, every smug glance. She'd poked the wrong bear. By Monday, the certified mail arrived like a gut punch. An official HOA citation for operating an illegal encampment, with threats of escalating fines. $300 a day until compliance. Evelyn's signature scrawled at the bottom, all loops and flourishes. I could have ignored it, but the whispers had already started. Neighbors gossiping that I was some drifter squatting on disputed land, tarnishing their property values. "He's probably hiding something," I'd overheard at the local diner. It echoed the old smears from my job loss, baseless crap that stuck like glue. No more silence. I drove to the county archives, a dusty basement in the old town hall, where the air hung heavy with mildew and forgotten history. The clerk, a wiry old-timer named Martha, perked up at Gran's name. Eleanor Thompson, sharpest mind in these parts, helped redraw maps after the 60s flood. She hauled out brittle surveys from 1948, yellowed edges crumbling under fluorescent hum. We pored over them, overlaying modern plats. And there it was, a jagged red boundary line slicing right through Willow Creek's prized community commons. Their manicured picnic area, the fancy pergola where they hosted wine tastings, even part of their paved walking path. Looks like a surveying screw-up when they built in 2010, Martha chuckled dryly. Or maybe they figured no one check. My pulse raced. They'd been squatting on 3.1 acres of my land for over a decade, all while preaching about respecting boundaries. But oh, the irony deepened. Gran had filed an updated survey in 1985, noting every marker with pinpoint detail. It reset any adverse possession clock, that sneaky law where squatters could claim ownership after unchallenged use. And my family's photos, logs from decades of visits, ironclad proof we'd never abandoned it. Smart lady, your Gran, Martha said with a wink. I photocopied it all. The machines were echoing my building resolve. As I left, the taste of impending justice was bittersweet, like overbrewed coffee. Evelyn thought she ruled with her bylaws? Wait till she learned about real deeds. That night, I called an old family contact, Silas Reed, a retired engineer living in Willow Creek itself. Alex, if this checks out, he rumbled over the line, it's gonna ruffle more than feathers. We met at dawn by the old oak markers, his toolkit clanking. Meanwhile, Evelyn upped the ante. Another letter, this one from her lawyer buddy, demanding I cease harassing the HOA or face defamation suits. Quiet enjoyment, it bleated. The real harassment was her patrols, binoculars in hand, documenting my infractions like a wannabe detective. The emergency HOA meeting hit like a farce. The clubhouse reeked of cheap air freshener masking desperation. Evelyn commanded the front, projector beaming slides of my shabby tent. Fellow residents, she intoned, voice quivering with manufactured outrage. This interloper threatens our way of life. He's claiming our commons, our heart. I propose a $5,000 per household levy for legal defense. Murmurs rippled, but not all approving. I slipped in uninvited, documents in hand. When she paused for applause that didn't come, I stood. Actually, Evelyn, you're the ones on my land. The packet thudded onto the table. Gasped. Silas examined it, nodding gravely. These surveys don't lie. Discrepancies clear as day. Evelyn's face flushed beet red. This is absurd. Fabricated drivel. But the seed was planted. As folks passed papers, whispers turned to questions. Wait, our dues paid for that pergola. On his dirt. 3 neighbors cornered me post-meeting. Clara Benson, who'd clashed with Evelyn over her non-conforming flower beds, her husband Tom, muttering about skipped surveys during purchase, and old Mr. Harlan, a vet like Gran, gripping my hand. Eleanor was straight shooting. If she marked it, it's gospel. The parking lot echoed with slammed doors, alliances fracturing. Evelyn's mask slipped. Just a twitch, but I saw the fear. She wasn't protecting the community. She was guarding her throne. Evelyn's retaliation was swift, petty, and oh so predictable. Within days, city inspectors swarmed my site, citing phantom zoning breaches. Commercial camping? That's a stretch, one admitted off record. But Evelyn's calls had them jumping. Then the smears amplified. Anonymous posts on the neighborhood app labeling me unstable, a threat after his job loss. Clients for my freelance graphic design dried up. 3 cancellations, citing reputation concerns. It stung, echoing those old rumors, but I documented everything. Timestamps, IPs if traceable. Patience, I reminded myself, sipping black coffee in my trailer. Let her dig her hole. Silas arrived with GPS gear, beeping like a sci-fi gadget, Clara and Tom tagging along, fed up with Evelyn's iron fist. We bushwhacked through undergrowth, unearthing markers buried under HOA sod. Not 3.1 acres, Silas whistled. 3.8. And look, your Gran's deed grants perpetual access easement. They can't block you even if they wanted. The earth smelled fresh, unearthed secrets pungent. Clara jotted notes. She mentioned boundary worries in 15, but said it was handled. Tom grunted. Handled by ignoring it, betting on silence. My phone buzzed. A burner text. Back off or else. Evelyn's desperation reeked through the screen. Clara's insider scoop from a board huddle. Evelyn admitted knowing the overlap since 2015, but deemed a fix too costly. Fights cheaper, she'd sneered. Photos of minutes sealed it. And the kicker? Silas's wife, a bookkeeper, audited HOA books voluntarily. Embezzlement, she whispered. $62,000 siphoned. Fake vendors, padded bills. Receipts for community retreats that were Evelyn's spa weekends. The web tightened. I installed cams, capturing Evelyn at midnight, measuring obsessively, muttering to herself. Ridiculous, almost pitiable, if not for the venom. The stakes skyrocketed when Clara called. Voice hushed in her garage. Emergency session last night. Evelyn's deeper in muck. Recordings revealed she'd collateralized the commons, my land, for a $280,000 loan funding their clubhouse facelift. And her cousin, the developer who'd botched the 2010 surveys, pocketing extras by fudging lines. Family business, Evelyn had quipped in minutes. Fraud, pure and simple. Tom's docs confirmed. Suppressed surveys, votes to bury it. Silas's wife dug deeper. $81,000 total skimmed now, including emergency funds for her legal war chest. Evelyn went nuclear. A smear blitz on social media, photos of my eyesore, camp captioned vagrancy alert. Fake reviews tanked my business. Shady operator, avoid. More clients bailed. But the cams caught gold. Evelyn at 1 a.m., spray can in hand, scrawling scammer on my gate. Her face in the floodlights. Twisted rage, lipstick smudged, utterly ludicrous. I filed for a restraining order, evidence mounting like an avalanche. Inside allies reported Evelyn unraveling. Threats to sue defectors, pacing boundaries at odd hours, screeching at shadows. We'll crush him, she'd ranted in a leaked audio. But her city allies? Bribes from reserves, another felony. I kept camping, cams rolling peaceful nights. Contrast to her chaos. Clara's final tip. $15,000 authorized for a PI to tail me. Find dirt, Evelyn ordered. The PI's report? Subjects clean. Land's legit. Even her hired gun turned. Evelyn's endgame was a clown show. Rallying 22 diehards for a countersuit, accusing me of extortion via technicalities. The filing? Public. Residents saw reserves raided for her vendetta. Clara rallied a parking lot revolt. She's betting our homes on lies. Silas crunched numbers. Loss could mean $18,000 assessments each. Tom's reveal. The PI quit. Report damning Evelyn. Criminal probes heated. Complaints to DA piled evidence of fraud. Conspiracy. Evelyn's facade crumbled. Spotted yelling at empty lots. BMW screeching to officials' doors. Her smear posts boomeranged when my vandalism vid went viral. HOA boss caught red-handed. Board resignations flowed. Values dipped as scandal spread. Families fled, moving vans rumbling. Discovered. Maintenance funds diverted to her lawyers. Stealing from snowplows for spite. Intercepted call to her cousin. You swore it'd stay buried. Family rats fleeing the ship. DA called, charges imminent, embezzlement. Fraud. Moonlit dock that night. Victory's whisper in the waves. Tomorrow's council meeting. The explosion. The town hall buzzed like a hornet's nest. Overflow crowds spilling into halls. News vans outside. Evelyn fronted her shrinking cadre. Suit impeccable but eyes wild. Mayor Wilkins banged the gavel. Lakeside dispute hearing. Evelyn podium bound. Voice trembling. This aggressor exploits loopholes to dismantle our haven. Slides tugged heartstrings. Kids on their paths. Seniors under their pergola. He's robbing our dreams. Tears flowed, but the crowd shifted uneasily. My turn. I'm reclaiming family land, held since '48. Silas's surveys projected. I laid out easements, discrepancies. Then the hammer. Evelyn embezzled $81,000. Fakes, personal splurges. Bank slips flashed. Room erupted. Lies, she shrieked. Your signatures. I countered, checks aloft. Clara testified. Recordings prove she hid the overlap since 15. Minutes read aloud. Suppress and fight. Murmurs turned roars. Mic drop. I offered $120,000 for easements months ago. Keep your spots. She chose war, harassment, vandalism. Vid played, Evelyn spray painting, face a caricature of fury. Silence. Then DA's man rose. Evelyn Hargrove, arrested for embezzlement, fraud. Cuffs snapped. Cams rolled as she was marched out. Loyalists agape. Silas stood. Board accepts settlement. Apologizes. Applause thundered. Gavel sealed it. 6 months on, the fire ring hosts barbecues, not battles. Evelyn pled guilty. Probation. Restitution. New board under Clara. Audits. Limits. Values soared with transparency. Settlement funded my design firm expansion, a Eleanor Thompson vet fund for trades training. Lands shared now. Festivals, trails, conservation easements preserving 25 acres. Former foes fished together. Media spotlighted HOA reform. Personal win. Dating Mia, a community organizer drawn by the tale. Campouts richer. Stories bridging divides. Key lessons. Resurvey boundaries decade-wise. Demand HOA audits. Backup deeds digitally. Grand's voice echoes. Respect land, it respects back. Willow Creek heals. Reflecting unity over tyranny. Was Evelyn the real victim of a technicality? Or did her power abuse make her the ultimate villain?